We talk turnovers, what they can do.
That's like George Foreman landing a shot in the 11th round.
Well, I'll tell you, J.B. Brown played the receiver right at the line of scrimmage. It was Eric Martin they were trying to go to on the slant, and it was J.B. all the way. He chucked him at the line of scrimmage, rode him within the legal 5 yards, and got the interception. Great play.
Well, it was a great play, and it was not a very good throw by Joe Montana. I'm not sure what Joe was looking at, thinking that slant was going to be there all the way. But wow, talk about a huge, colossal play for the Dolphins. It didn't look like there was any way they were going to keep Kansas City from scoring.
And you saw Oliver Dottie wanted a personal foul on Marcus Allen at the end of the play, but didn't get it. From the 24-yard line, off the fingertips of Aaron Craver, covered by Sally Amu. It'll be second down.
Joe's looking at him all the way. He's looking at Martin. That's his go-to guy from the whole play. Now,
I think he thought that Martin was going to disengage from J.B. Brown, and Brown just played it beautifully.
I don't know if Joe was expecting Eric Martin to be more to the inside, run a sharper angle across the middle. That's certainly where he delivered the football, like he expected Eric Martin to be between himself and J.B. Brown.
Well, the quarterback, that's what you count on.
This is where the Kansas City defense has to assert itself right here. Second down and 10. And Parmalee goes down. And he's tackled. The Chiefs want to say it was at the 23-yard line.
Yeah, they're going to want to say that Darren Mickle back there in that collision
touched him, yeah.
Touched him, and that's where the ball should be spotted, but they're not going to get it from Jerry Markright.
I don't think he did.
At the 26, they'll spot it. Third down and 7.
First downs become killers for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Miami leading 27-17. Third and 7 from the Dolphin 27. A little shovel pass underneath to Craver. And Craver, after bouncing off a couple of Chiefs, is thrust out of bounds at the 32. So they're able to hold him. Monty Grau and Charles Mincy were there to make sure he didn't reach that marker.
This was an important hold on the part of the Kansas City defense, because they'll get the ball back, or should, in good field position. And I'll say it for you again, Dan. Dale Carter dropping back. He can make things happen. And
one other thing to keep in mind here. You know Joe Montana will be totally unfazed by having thrown that interception. He will get the ball back here just the same as always.
Kidd's kick is caught by the Dolphin at the 20-yard line. It was Muhammad Oliver running all the way down there. This play is over. This is nothing right here, but Oliver got down there to cover the punt. A 48-yard boot. So back comes Joe, down by 10 with 10:15 left in regulation. He's quick. Nice catch.
You're needed, and you can't let a cold get in the way. Hall's Mentholyptus with vapor action helps relieve sore throat, coughing, and nasal congestion. You can trust Hall's to help you cope with a cold.
We're showering in our swimsuits to settle an argument. Which leaves your skin feeling cleaner? My sister's regular soap or my Zest? After rinsing and drying, Mary's swimsuit had soap residue. Mine had none.
This film is left on my skin after a shower?
Right. Zest doesn't leave a sticky soap film. I wouldn't want that on my skin.
Well, from now on, I'm using your Zest.
See? Zest rinses cleaner than your soap.
Zest. No soap leaves your skin cleaner.
Third boxcar, midnight train. Destination Bangor, Maine. I'm a man of means, by no means king of the road.
The moral of the story is the copper top tops them all.
Ah, yeah, king of the road.
Feast on the delicious comedy of Dave's World.
Hey, Shell, taste this, would you? I put something new in the potato salad.
What is it?
I don't know. It fell out of the cupboard.
Oh, no.
It's got all the ingredients for a great time. Don't miss Dave's World. Global's got it Monday at 8:30. Dabney Coleman's a household name.
I am the
madman of the people.
And he's as sweet as ever.
Who the hell's nicer than me?
Global's got it 9:30 Thursday.
The M&M boys and their numbers to this point.
That one interception, though, for Joe Montana. We have a 27-17 ball game. Looked like it was going to be 27-24 until he threw that interception to J.B. Brown.
Now first down, Kansas City from the 21. A little swing pass to Greg Hill, and he's out to the 32-yard line. That's a first down. First down, Kansas City with 10:05 left. How many times? How many times for Joe, for Dan for that matter, fourth quarter comebacks?
Well, his lifelong narcotic is football and winning and looking for another big fix and a fifth Super Bowl. They're so different. As you look at Marino, we talked about his attitude. Montana so cool, so quiet that it really burns inside.
Marcus Allen back in the game. He takes the toss. Marcus on the move. Marcus picks up the first down. Allen down to the 45-yard line, tackled by Troy Vincent.
They have been running the screens on both sides of the line of scrimmage today. Miami has been running them well. Kansas City has been running them well. And, of course, to run the screen pass, Frank, it helps to have a quarterback who can handle the ball and set it up.
And both teams aware the other team is struggling to get pass pressure on. Their defensive linemen are getting tied up. They're fighting to get to the quarterback. That's the best time to run a screen.
Greg Hill back in the game. From the 45-yard line, they give it to Greg Hill. And he squeezes through the middle for 2.5. And a little shoving at the end of the play. I think Lake Dawson was involved in it, and J.B. Brown wants a flag.
One of the Dolphins just able to get back up to his feet. I think it's Mike Stewart that Stewart was holding on to Dawson's jersey. Dawson took offense and actually grabbed the left leg of Michael Stewart and put him down. It was a pretty good takedown in the wrestling arena.
No harm, no foul. Catch is made by Dawson, and that's very close to a first down just inside the Dolphin 45-yard line.
Dawson is a rookie at 37 reception. He'll fight for the football. They really like him in Kansas City. He's strong. He's over 200 pounds. Has some good height, 6'1".
That's a first down. First down, Kansas City at the Dolphin 44. 7:48 left in regulation. Miami leading 27-17. Marcus bounces off, swings to the outside, turns nothing into a 9-yard gain. The ball is pulled away and taken away by Michael Stewart. He took the ball away. Miami has it.
A little spin move that Marcus Allen has patented over the years got him in trouble. He spun right into Michael Stewart, who's very heads up, went for the ball instead of the tackle.
What a play by Marcus Allen just to get away. Let's watch the end of it. Here's Michael Stewart, 35. The question is, when is Marcus Allen down and when is the play over?
Oh, that's a tough call.
Boy, that...
They both had their hands on it, but the offense is always given the possession.
Do they both have their hands on the football when Marcus touches?
And is Stewart in bounds as he takes possession of it?
One. Yes.
Whoa,
well, yes,
boy.
I
don't know about that on either count.
Looks at no time did Stewart get both feet in the field of play.
Yes, Irving Spikes picks up a yard.
And you can really make an argument that Marcus Allen was on his back and still had both hands on the football. Now, granted, Stewart had both hands on the football, but in that case, it belongs to the offense.
Well, I think it was one hand. Boy,
well,
that's a tough call.
Boy, what an interesting play this is.
Fascinating. Two things to look at. Possession and then inbounds or out of bounds.
See, Marcus, his right hand slips off of the ball, but it looked to me like he was already on the ground.
But on they go. It's second down and 9 at the 35. Spikes. about 4. That's going to set up a huge 3rd and 5 as Kansas City has to hold here with 6:37 remaining.
This is a tough call. We run it for you in slow motion. This happened at warp speed. For an official to make the call, it's really difficult.
There's Marcus on the ground. Let's put it this way. It appeared to me that Marcus Allen retained possession of the football. Would replay, if it was still in use, have overturned that? No, it would not.
At least dual possession, and that would be awarded to the offensive player.
Absolutely right. But would replay have corrected that? I don't think we saw enough to do so.
Replay would have taken at least 5 minutes to look at that one.
Right.
And this one is whistled before its inception.
I never thought I'd hear Al say that.
Yes, well, it would have. That one would have.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
And a proponent of the instant replay.
Yeah.
So you have to respect it. Don Shula likes it.
Interesting that in this situation, in the 4th quarter of a playoff football game, the last 2 times the Kansas City Chiefs have had the football, it's been turned over by Joe Montana and Marcus Allen.
Hall of Famers.
Yes. 3rd down and 10.
Well, certainly to be Hall of Famers.
Oh, yeah. Of that, there is no debate.
Huge play for the Chiefs defensively here. 3rd down and 10. It's dropped off underneath to Craver. And Aaron Craver gets it to the 50 and a 1st down.
Craver and Spikes, they don't try to elude anything. And they have been banging into Kansas City tacklers all afternoon.
Kansas City just brings 3 people going after Dan Marino. Good luck. You just can't sit back there and give Dan Marino an unobstructed field of view.
Dale Carter took the shot that time from the 220-pound Craver.
Too many options. Too many options to give either one of these quarterbacks that much time.
1st and 10 from the 50-yard line. Parmalee to the 45. Flag comes in at the end.
Jeff Dellenbach looking disgustedly over towards our umpire here tonight, Chad Brown. I think that's why. Now, if it's not on Dellenbach, Jeff, I got to give you a hint. Don't act guilty.
Holding number 65. Offense. 10-yard penalty. 1st down.
It is Dellenbach. And that helped the Chiefs a lot. Because they're not helping themselves very much right now in stopping the Dolphins.
Well, we saw a very poignant look at Marcus Allen a moment ago. He's not a demonstrative guy. He's a team guy all the way. He's never a me guy. He's just a classy football player. He knows what happened. It hurts. He gave it his best effort. He's going to live with it, but he'll live a long time with it if it just doesn't work out.
I'm not sure Marcus Allen did anything wrong. I think Michael Stewart did something amazing.
On 1st and 20, this is Parmalee getting about half of it back up to the 50-yard line.
That's one of those deals, I think, where Michael Stewart, in wresting that ball away from Marcus Allen, just made an extraordinary play.
Now, Kansas City has to take a timeout. They have to start conserving the clock right here. It'll be 2nd and 10 at the 50 when we come back. 4:46 left in the 4th.
All I kept getting was, I'll find out about it. I'll get back to you. I have to have answers now. If our 800 service goes down, I'm out the door.
Every day, more and more businesses are switching back to Bell.
Bell was able to give me the confidence that they were going to be able to fix whatever would go wrong, whereas with whatever the other carrier was, I had no idea what was going to happen.
So give us a call, and we'll prove that we can give your business an advantage. Bell Advantage.
They were telling me that they would stand behind the product and fix it. Bell proved to me they could.
There's a new sports game that's fun and easy to play. It's called Over Under. Fetch! Pick up a brochure now at your Sports Select retailer. Whoa, and find out all about it.
Hey, what took you?
New Over Under. It adds more fun to the action.
You know, an apple sitting around too long, it goes bad. It's the same thing with a new battery. It loses power waiting to be bought. That's why at Interstate, we're constantly checking our batteries to make sure they're fresh, so that you don't end up with a bad apple.
Join Jim Talley and Mark Hepsher on Sportsline, weeknights at 11:30 on Global.
He saw things that you and me, we only dream about.
Oh, if you are what you say you are, I know what can kill you.
First contact with another life form.
You know what we are. Nobody wanted to believe. He's probably one of those people that thinks Elvis is dead.
Well, we talked before about a sense of urgency, which is kind of the in vogue phrase over the last couple of years, and Dan applied it to Dan Marino, and you can certainly apply it to the Kansas City Chiefs collectively. This is a fully flowered team right now, and a team that goes to the playoffs for its 5th consecutive season. But right now they're on the verge of getting eliminated. Down by 10. It is 2nd and 10 here, and Parmalee will get stopped at the 49-yard line. Now will the Chiefs use another timeout here? And they will. So they've taken 2 timeouts, knowing they need 2 scores, knowing they have 1 more timeout in the 2-minute warning to stop the clock. With 37 left in regulation.
We know the feeling. This is a fully flowered booth as well.
Yes. Deflowered.
Long-lasting Energizer batteries just keep going and going.
There's only one AA battery that is the world's longest lasting. The Energizer Lithium. I said there's only one. But don't worry, we're making more.
364 morning jogs. 103 rounds. 7 sparring partners. 10 p.m. curfew. 3 inflated lips. 7 knockouts. Equals 1 title shot. For all you do, this bud's for you.
It's the best kept secret on TV.
Well, now this is new.
It's hilarious fun on Monday nights.
You changed your signature on me after that little Visa incident.
With one of the funniest guys on TV.
Boy, are my ears burning.
Who's the funny one here? Get the big picture with a laugh on Dave's World.
Oh, wow, I gotta get a bigger TV.
You'll be glad you did.
Admit you're happy.
Discover the comedic delights of Dave's World. Global's got it. Monday at 8:30. They're the most hilariously irreverent family on TV.
Oh, yeah.
They're the Simpsons, and Global's got it. Friday at 8.
Now let us never speak of it again.
Well, right now it's incumbent on the Kansas City Chiefs to stop the Miami Dolphins on a 3rd and 11 at the 49-yard line.
It's that simple, isn't it?
Yep. Get the ball back and score twice.
Yep. They're down 10 points. They've used 2 of their timeouts here in stopping the clock. They only have 1 remaining.
In fact, they have, in double checking it, they have none because they had to take the defensive timeout earlier when the Dolphins went into that hurry up.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
And they're out of timeouts.
The Dolphins' first drive of the second half. You're right.
Boy, there's such a feeling too, almost of desperation. Again, I go back. They've been playing this game for 6 months, and it could end here in a matter of minutes.
Well, it can pretty much end here if the Dolphins convert on a 3rd and 11. And they don't. It's dropped by Craver. So the Chiefs are going to get it back. A flag is thrown back at the 45-yard line of the Dolphins. It's from the umpires. Well,
and will it be a first down foul?
Illegal hands to the face.
Yes.
Number 58, defense.
Oh, no.
5-yard penalty. First down.
Can you spell backbreaker?
Derek Thomas, the man that has brought them to the playoffs over these past 5 years. This hurt.
You can see Dave Adolph looking up at his monitor. He wants to see if we can find it. Craig Janoff, our director, Kenny Wolf, our producer, I'm sure are scurrying to see if we can find it, but oftentimes away from the play like that, it's tough to find. It's a lot of times it happens away from the ball on the far side of the field, and obviously that's the case here.
It was tough for Schottenheimer or Adolph to find. First down Miami at the 46-yard line, and now they'll chew up as much of the clock as they can, and Parmalee chews up the clock and the ground.
Well, what was important was that one of the officials saw it, and that's all it took.
Go back and take a look on the replay left side of the screen.
Let's look. There's Derek Thomas.
Well, that had to be a forearm that we didn't see to the face.
It either happened prior to that or it's happening on the other side of Derek Thomas's body, screened away from it.
He did not complain.
No, he really didn't. He did not contest it at all.
Dolphins now at the 36-yard line. Parmalee picks up 3. So if Miami holds on, they go to San Diego next Sunday. Kansas City goes home. Their season would be over. And then the Cleveland New England winner would go to Pittsburgh Saturday.
And the questions, of course, will continue and build to some kind of a crescendo about Joe Montana's future. Will he come back? Will he not come back? Will this man, Marcus Allen, who I know I've done it, Marcus. I did it in the championship game, and I've never forgotten it.
Second down and 8 at the 34-yard line.
I wish I'd have been in a championship game.
Irving spikes.
You wouldn't have forgot it.
Nope.
That much time left, and again, no timeouts, just a 2-minute warning to stop the clock.
Hey, a quick second here to say congratulations to one of our graphic guys, Richie DeAngelis. He and his wife, Adrian, had a son this week on Wednesday. Nicholas Richard DeAngelis, 6 pounds, 6 ounces. Everybody's doing fine. Richie and Adrian, congratulations. Richie, that's still no excuse for not being here.
I told Richie that's not difficult.
You can get here, right? That's just
no. I'm having one.
Having one.
Congratulations, Richie.
Our crew is the best, and we are justifiably, I think, proud of them.
We got a great team.
Yeah, we do.
3rd and 12. They keep it on the ground out of the shotgun. Taking it to the 35-yard line is Aaron Craver, and that's going to take us to the 2-minute warning. It'll be a 4th down for Miami coming up with 2 minutes to go. 2 minutes, and Miami with 10 second-half points to none for Kansas City, leading 27-17.
His name is Niles. Middle name is Huff. He's mean, he's bad, he's working on Buff.
I'm going to be arrested.
We're all getting arrested.
Yes, but I have delicate features. Prison will be hell for me.
Look out, Eastwood. He'll make your day.
Oh, my God!
Fellas up to the bar and orders cafe ole. Niles Crane.
Can always pump iron later.
On Frazier.
Niles, you don't even pump your own gas.
We had every intention of taking you through a list of all the standard features available on the new Pontiac Sunfire. But there was one thing we wanted to tell you first. The new Pontiac Sunfire, built for drivers.
Helen, she is my light. When she left, I could no longer see. To inhale her beauty, to choke on her innocence were my greatest joys.
Shave me. Grant me one wish.
Anything.
Get off my foot.
Wings takes flight. That's Tuesdays at 8 on Global Television.
Ah, the fun of it.
2 minutes to go and 4th down, and Miami to punt from the Kansas City 35-yard line. You know, you look at Derek Thomas, and to borrow that line from Wide World of Sports, the human drama, it's the Montanas and the Allens and the Thomases that get you here. And then it's those guys that have come up short here in the 4th quarter. The interception by Montana, the stripping of the ball out of Marcus Allen's hands, and then the Derek Thomas penalty. And they put Kansas City in a very difficult position, obviously, as the kick with nobody back to receive floats into the end zone. They simply try for the block, and now Kansas City will take it at the 20-yard line with 1:52 to go. ABC's AFC wildcard game is being brought to you by... It'll be here, the 29th Super Bowl.
On the 29th.
On the 29th of January, 4 weeks from mañana. Well, is this the end of Montana's career?
I hope not.
I hope not either. I don't think anybody, including Joe, knows right now. But as he throws the ball to Marcus Allen, if it is, just savor it. Do a little reflecting. You never know.
You know, over the years, we've looked at him so many times with those arms reaching up to the heavens after a touchdown pass. But, you know, in the last couple of years, we've also gotten very familiar with him lying on the different surfaces around the league. The championship game a year ago, out with a concussion, a knee this year, a foot injury, a back injury a few years ago. And you just don't quite know how to think about it.
2nd and 10. Joe throws, and that's incomplete, throwing into traffic intended for Derek Walker.
Let's just talk about what we do know. Joe is an unbelievable competitor. He says that he loves the stage and that he will play as long as he can and as long as he can be productive. He is productive, and he has a coach in Marty Schottenheimer who wants him to come back. Given those two factors, it's hard for me to imagine Joe Montana not playing in 1995.
Easier for Joe, I think, than maybe Marcus Allen, who will be 35 as a running back.
Agreed.
3rd down and 9.
But Marty wants Marcus back, too.
Yep, and Marcus wants to come back. On the screen is Kimball Anders picking and threading and very close to a first down. Clearly, if he's short, they're still going for it on 4th and inches or an inch or two, and they are a little short.
It's the last game you remember most, and I don't think taking that one interception, I think most of Joe's memories about his performance here today should be positive. The guy played a really good football game.
Played a fabulous first half.
Yeah.
You had a first down, you got a waste down here. Could be, if you got anything big that you can get deep on, you might want to try it. Miami is, of course, thinking right with him.
Well, they've got to get a yard to keep possession of the ball. And it's Anders, and he gets that yard. And again, the clock keeps on moving. 127, 126, and counting down.
Point with the time ticking away. You've got to try something up on top.
Now Joe over the middle, and that's incomplete. Up at the 36, intended for Derek Walker. The president of the team, Carl Peterson, had an interesting observation about 3 weeks ago. He felt if the Chiefs went down in flames and didn't make the playoffs, and there is Carl, that Joe would probably come back. He wouldn't want to end his career that way. He felt if they got all the way to the Super Bowl, he might quit. Now they're kind of in that middle ground. They made it to the first round, but they're going out.
Well, at the beginning of the season, who didn't expect this team to get into the playoffs?
Flag down, Burton makes the catch.
When you looked at the AFC and you looked at the teams that were the powerhouses in the AFC, I think it was a foregone conclusion that the Chiefs were going to make the playoffs and had to come down to the last game of the season to beat the Raiders to get in. This is
and they did not only beat them, they beat them on both sides of the ball. They were ready for this game. Marty was very optimistic about it, saying they're as healthy as they've been all year.
Outside defense, 5-yard penalty.
But I don't.
Still 2nd down.
My point is, I don't think getting into the playoffs is that big a plus for the Kansas City Chiefs. I think they were expected to get into the playoffs, and failing in the first round is a bitter disappointment for Marty Schottenheimer. He expected better things from this football team. And there's Wayne Huizenga, the owner of the Miami Dolphins, there in the white shirt with his hand on his chin.
He could have left off Dolphins. He owns Miami.
Yeah, he owns. That's right. Good point.
The Marlins, the
deepest pockets you're going to see.
At least he has one team that's playing, because he has the Marlins and the Panthers that are in mothballs right now.
That guy has credit card limits that are higher than my net worth.
The catch is made by Lake Dawson.
Just so humble.
And that's a first down.
I know your net worth. The restaurant tycoon.
Yes. Well, what a beautiful look at this magnificent facility, and we'll be back here in
Proud to be here.
Yep. Thanks to Craig and Kenny and the whole crew. Great job, guys.
Sensational. 1st and 10 at the 41. 59 seconds left. Montana setting it up. It's Marcus Allen. Marcus looking for that sideline, trying to get out of bounds, and does at the 45-yard line. 49 seconds remaining. If Miami holds on to win, again, they go to San Diego, and you look at the towel-draped Thomas and Smith. They could conceivably host the AFC Championship game here. They could do that by beating San Diego. And the winner of the New England-Cleveland game goes to Pittsburgh. If the Browns were to win that game, or the Patriots were to win that game, then Miami could come home to host the AFC Championship game. Trips right. First down at the 45-yard line. Joe. And the catch is made by J.J. Burton, but he stays in bounds. The ball at the 28. Joe saying, let's go, let's go. I got to conserve some clock here. Get lined up, get lined up.
Be wise to spike this one.
And he will right there. All right, 31 seconds. Well, more bizarre things have happened. You get one into the end zone, you retrieve an onside kick, you kick a field goal. Lamar Hunt, well, he watched his team win a Super Bowl all the way back in Super Bowl IV when they beat the Vikings. Long time ago.
A nicer guy never lived. What a classy man is Lamar Hunt.
Second down at the 28-yard line. Catch is made by Davis. He steps out of bounds at the 20-yard line.
I'll tell you, Joe's not going easy, is he?
No, he's not.
Montana over 300 yards. It's the 6th time in his career in postseason play that he's gone over 300 yards, and that's a new NFL record. Third and 1 from the 19. Joe looking for the end zone, too high for Willie Davis, who went up with one hand and couldn't haul it in. So it's 4th down now. 21 seconds remaining.
This time, Joe, almost desperation trying to get it in between defenders. Waxton going up. 3 men on the coverage of Willie Davis. Willie Davis, who gave us such a thrill in the Denver game when he pulled it out with 5 seconds remaining on a pass from Joe Montana.
That was really a well-thrown ball by Montana.
Yep, it was.
4th down here. Joe looking for 6, and it's knocked down at the goal line. Intended for Willie Davis.
Glad I got to sit in on this one.
Yep, I couldn't agree with you more, Frank. And I don't think that sign was for me. I think that was for number 13.
Well, is that the end?
I hope not.
I hope not either. Well, I tell you, watch him, the way he played in that first half today. Marcus says he'll definitely be back. You watch Montana have a first half like he had today, and you have to have him back. I mean, we're being selfish. It's easy for us to say. He's got to take the
you got to find
physical abuse.
You got to find a reason for him to not be back.
Yep.
And we certainly didn't see one.
The Miami Dolphins will win the game and go to San Diego next Sunday. The Chiefs season is over. Montana's career, question mark. The future.
A big win for the Miami Dolphins, who struggled for a while in early December, and boy, have their fans here at Joe Robbie Stadium been rewarded with a couple big games late in the season. 2 of those big games being wins over the Kansas City Chiefs.
Don Shula taking a ride down victory lane. And Joe Montana heading back to the Kansas City locker room. And the crowd going home, and they're hopeful of getting back here and seeing their Dolphins at least one more time somewhere down the line. 27-17 is the final The Dolphins win it and advance. And right now, let's go to New York and check in there with John Saunders. John?
All right, Al, thanks a lot. 27-17 is the final. Miami gets the victory at home. Will they have at least one more game there? We will find out in the weeks. We'll come back and wrap things up in just a moment. Stick around.
This is how getting in touch with yourself was done before self-help seminars. This is what quality time was like when you had a quantity of time. And in case you've forgotten, this is what communicating was like before voicemail. Club Med, life as it should be.
Coburg.
Arnold's Cove.
No matter where you are. Plaster Rock.
Fox Creek.
No matter where you live.
You're never far from home.
Home Hardware.
With 900 dealers coast to coast.
There's a home in every neighborhood. With lots of friendly advice.
900 dealer buying power.
Guarantees a great price.
We buy big. You save big.
You can count on us.
After all, what are neighbors for?
Great price, friendly advice at Home Hardware.
It's about first boyfriends.
That moron? I mean, the guy has an IQ below room temperature.
It's about first dates.
He's gonna ask you out. I just know it.
It's about first kisses. Amanda and Busy are taking on all the joys and pains of growing up together.
I have a boring little kid life. It's not that boring. You've got me.
Hey, check us out. Right after The Simpsons. Ready or not, Global's got it. Friday at 8:30.
But we haven't come across any Kampucheans who want the Vietnamese to go now. These people dread the ruin of Zimbabwe.
Ground fighting. The communist drive towards Saigon continues.
Arrives here, but the Soviet withdrawal has begun.
South Armagh. And the remote possibility of positive activity.
There's no substitute for experience. Now there's no need to wait until 11 for national news. Join Peter Kent on the First National, weeknights at 6:30 on the Global Television Network.
Join Jim Taddy and Mark Hepshire on Sportsline, weeknights at 11:30 on Global.
What do you like going in?
Well, obviously, we know Cleveland very well, having just played them basically 2 weeks ago. But in our study this week and watching New England, there's no question. Drew Bledsoe is one of the bright young quarterbacks in the National Football League, and their defense has played very well as of late. So I think tomorrow's game is going to be another good one, just like today's was.
And again, Megan getting more airtime than any youngster on national television. Thanks a lot, Boomer Esiason. Did a great job. Right now, we're going to take you back to Al Michaels. Thanks for watching.
John, and back here, the final score, of course, was 27-17, and we've talked so much about Montana. We don't know whether this was the end or not, but how about Dan Marino and the effort he turned in today and throughout the course of the season?
And they take the show now to San Diego, and remember last December 27th we were there. 45-20 San Diego over Miami. And they had that fall apart of a year ago. What a different team it is now.
And you mentioned Marino, and let's not lose sight of the fact that a year ago at this time we were wondering whether Dan Marino was going to be back this year, whether 94 was going to be a year in which he could even play at all, much less be productive. And look at the year he turns in, and his year is still going on.
Right, and the running game is pretty good now with Bernie Parmalee. They're playing a lot better defensively. Who knows? That's going to be a good game next week, Miami, San Diego.
And Aaron Craver coming along. Let's see, they'll get everyone ready. They'll be healthy like Marty was
Well,
healthy.
we'll see if they get Ingram back from the ankle injury. He didn't play today.
Heller will be better.
And look at the emergence of a guy like O.J. McDuffie, a quality return guy, but his ability to play from the line of scrimmage. Had the big block early. It kind of set a tone for Miami when he hits Derek Thomas. So you're right. The Miami Dolphins, a much more complete football team than they were earlier in this football season.
Of the Monday lineup, 3 bowl games coming your way for Montana. It ends in frustration as the Dolphins and Marino advance 27-17. Happy New Year from Miami.
Only one company could take a flowing, ergonomic interior. Add to it Glove soft leather. Combine it with smooth riding suspensions and a Vortec V6 engine. Then encase it all in 3,000 pounds of GMC.
Well, Bill Ranford goes back to take his position.
And even the coaches are confused. They're gesturing back and forth between the benches and discussing things. That doesn't happen every day.
I think what they were trying to figure out who was shooting first, and it's Luc Robitaille who was shooting first.
Luc Robitaille shooting on Jarmo Myllys. Robitaille scored the last time. And he scores this time. Robitaille.
Well, they kept the same order. Luc Robitaille scored in the first round, and he scores again in this round. He went to the backhand. It looked as though he was going to try to pick the short side.
Mika Nieminen, number 40, will shoot for Finland. He must score or Canada wins it. There it is! It is over! Canada, world champions.
Unbelievable for this game to be settled in this fantastic shootout. As nerve-wracking as it was, this is unbelievable. Luc Robitaille scoring for Canada, and Billy Ranford did his job.
Well, it's taken 33 years for Canada to scale this peak. Enjoy the view.
I was surprised that Finland went with the same order, at least with Nieminen shooting first. I thought they would have put that pressure on Jari Kurri. Well, they might not have outnumbered the Finnish fans here today, but the Canadian fans were loud. They're waving their flags. And what a breathtaking moment. There's tears of joy and tears of sorrow. This time, Canada has the tears of joy.
And now the national anthem.
Well, we were not quite as fortunate in the shootout for the Olympic gold in Lillehammer. The Canadian Olympic hockey squad had...
Experience the Esso Tiger. Spirit of service.
The following is a special presentation of CBC Sports.
Good evening and welcome to Hockey Night Classics. I'm Ron McLean. Happy New Year for all of us. Welcome to a new tradition, one that we truthfully hope does not continue. As you know, the NHL drop date deadline is now January the 16th. If there are no games by that date, this is what you're going to be seeing from us. It's classic confrontations involving hockey beginning tonight, and you'll actually have a vote in the game we show next week and subsequent weeks if in fact we're forced to go with those. And because we're going to celebrate hockey in the only arena in which we now feel comfortable, and that's nostalgia, I'm really delighted tonight to be joined by my pal and mentor, Dick Irvin. And Dick, I've got a game this evening that I could really teach you a few things about. Kidding, of course. The Forum in Montreal, 1975, New Year's Eve, Central Red Army versus the Montreal Canadiens is what we're about to watch. What makes this game a classic?
Well, I think, Ron, you look at it after all these years go back, but there were two things that stick in my mind. Number one, it wasn't that far away from 1972. 3 years had elapsed, but that was such a mammoth hockey happening in the minds of all of us here in Canada. So we knew about the Russians by then, certainly. And the other, I think, was it was the Montreal Canadiens against the Red Army, our best against their best. We'd heard of the teams over there, but the Red Army, that seemed to be the one that always won. They had the star players, and suddenly there they were. This was that series, that tour, the first confrontation, club teams against club teams.
Soviets were always world champions, and we were beginning to doubt ourselves, I think, in the wake of '72. And as you say, this is a matchup not only for us, but imagine in Moscow, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Never had a game from North America been televised back home to the Soviet Union, and they were watching to see how their championship team would do against an NHL club. What about keys for the Soviet Union? Who were the stars of the day?
Well, of course, again, we remember '72, Tretiak, the goaltender, and we'll hear a lot and see a lot of him, of course, the next couple of hours. And, you know, Harlamov, the forward, was, I think, the main man we remembered from '72. He's on the line with Petrov and Mikhailov. Everybody said, this is the best line in the world. And the guys on this side of the ocean are saying, wait a minute, we're going to show them something else.
Ken Dryden's a preeminent writer now. He was known as the lawyer/hockey player in those days, and Ken always had some beautiful thoughts about what it was like to play against them. He began to have doubts about, was he too big, too lanky to deal with their crisscrossing and fast game? And this night would be a challenge for Ken Dryden. We'll see from him. We'll see the big Montreal defenders, Larry Robinson, of course, his presence. Serge Savard, watch and see how young he looked and great. And Guy Lapointe, geez, they looked just so tremendous. And so many players who became coaches or general managers in hockey, the power of their offense, Lafleur and Schutt with the great release and so forth. It's a treat.
I think the thing, too, to remember as you watch this is, if it comes through, and I'm sure it will, the tension in the building. I can't recall, I mean, I've seen Stanley Cups won in the Montreal Forum, you haven't, but that night, it fooled me, and it fooled a lot of people, and it was just magnificent.
Yeah, it was tough in the basement at my home and many others. Those Canadians. You were in the broadcast booth with John Ferguson. You were the analysts upstairs. Our Hockey Night crew included the two of you downstairs. Dave Reynolds opened the program with Howie Meeker, and we'll get a lot of tingles out of this celebration of Central Red Army in Montreal, but probably none more than hearing the legendary voice of Hockey Night in Canada's Danny Gallivan.
It was 3-3. I think the Canadians outshot them 39-13, and it was up and down all night. And a confrontation between a team from Canada or a team from the National Hockey League against the Soviets had become so important in the light of that great, great series in '72. So the New Year's Eve '75 game is etched in my memory forever.
If this is indeed to be a night of great memories, that voice is certainly one of them. Another coming up after the playing of the Soviet national anthem at the Forum, Roger Doucette and the Canadian national anthem.
maintenant M. Roger Doucette et veuillez vous joindre à lui et chanter notre hymne national. Mr. Roger Doucette, and let's join him for our national anthem. I would like now to invite Mr. Vyacheslav Kolaskov, head of the USSR Sports Committee, et Monsieur Clarence Campbell, président de la Ligue nationale de hockey, à procéder à la mise au jeu officielle du match de ce soir en présence des deux capitaines. J'invite le capitaine de l'Armée rouge, Boris Mikhailov, et les Canadiens Yvan Cournoyer pour la mise au jeu.
Well, the two captains have been called to center ice. Cournoyer is there, and now Mikhailov makes his way as the head of the Soviet Sports Federation joins Clarence Campbell in this, the official face-off prior to tonight's big New Year's Eve hockey game here in Montreal. And there it is. Oh, come on, Ivan. Mr. Campbell wants one more. Amazing to hear the reception given, especially to the last two Soviet players introduced, Kharlamov and Tretiak. So the official part of that ceremony is over. Danny, they're going to have the exchange of gifts. These Soviet players must have pretty large phones because every time you see them play hockey, they're exchanging gifts with somebody, either before or after the game.
Dick, there seems to be, and we're thankful for it, a great spirit of camaraderie here between these teams, starting the game at least. We don't know what will happen after. But I haven't heard this crowd in such a frame of mind as they were tonight. I suppose comparably would be Labor Day 1972.
There you see the gifts that are being exchanged. The Canadians receiving the gift on the left. The Montreal players are offering each Russian player a silver single one of the third series of Olympic stamp sculpture. Our coverage of Super Series 76 Game 2 continues in just a moment.
Get on board the Molson Canadian SS Rocks for a 7-day Caribbean island tour featuring a private performance by the Spin Doctors. Look for your Peel and Win passport inside specially marked cases of Molson Canadian. Or call for entry without product purchase. You could win one of 25 trips for two, plus over 1 million other prizes to be won. The Molson Canadian SS Rocks Island Tour. Get on board.
Introducing the new Mercury Mystique. It has available all-speed traction control, a Micron air filter that removes dust and pollen, and a 24-valve Duratec V6 engine that goes 160,000 kilometers before its first scheduled tune-up. Yet even though Mystique is equipped like a luxury car, it's priced thousands of dollars less. Because the last time we looked, money still didn't grow on trees. Drive the all-new Mercury Mystique.
Hockey Night Classics.
Soviets and the Canadians from the Forum Live as we look at the referees. Harris, referee. Bayshard, the linesman. Brandon is another linesman. Yes, to wind it up in 75. And there's Tretiak and Dryden. Should be a great battle of the goalies tonight. And this should be a delight for you as you ring in the new, but don't do any celebrating until we have finished here. There you get a look at the pre-warm-up activities of Dryden. He's down there in the north end. And Tretiak.
Tretiak played all 8 games for the Soviets in the series involving the National Hockey League in 1972. Ken Dryden played in 4 of those games, splitting the duties even Steven with Tony Esposito.
So the starting lineup is out on the ice now for the Soviets. Petrov will go to center. Harlamov, who had that great goal in New York on Sunday night, number 17, is over on the left wing. Mikhailov, number 7, he's the captain on right wing for the Soviets. Gusev on defense. And the other defenseman will be Vasilyev. There you see Petrov. Now for the Canadians, Lafleur at center. Gainey on the left wing, Wilson on the right side. Savard and Lapointe on defense, and it goes to the Canadians. Savard clearing it ahead to Gainey, and he ran into Vasilyev and went down. Puck is into the Soviet zone. Vasilyev cleared it up on the left wing. Harlamov passes it, and it's off the stick of Savard. Harlamov coming in. Mikhailov takes his shot, and he's wide with it along the ice. Now Gainey with Wilson. They need a goal. He takes the shot, the rebound to Lafleur. And Tretiak was there to make the save. Now Wilson is bumping there along the boards with Mikhailov. And let's see.
Canadians getting a penalty. John, right off the bat, we saw 2 things that we saw in New York the other night. A good check by Vasilyev and one of those long Soviet passes which preceded the breakaway by Murray Wilson.
Well, Mikhailov moved in close and a shot on Dryden, but that was a great check by Vasilyev right at the blue line, right to start the game. Now here's Mikhailov. He places out a stick, and Murray Wilson ends up with a penalty.
Trop élevé à 38 secondes. Canadians penalty number 17, Murray Wilson. 2 minutes for high sticking at 38 seconds.
38 seconds, the time of the high sticking penalty against Wilson of Montreal. Petrov at center. Mikhailov on the right wing. Harlamov over there too. He remains out. Vasilyev and Gusev. So in effect, there is no change for the Soviets on the power play. For Montreal, Gainey, Jarvis, Savard, and Lapointe. No score. We have just started here. We're in the first minute of play. Now Lapointe gets it over to Gainey. Gainey back into his zone to Savard. He takes a look, clears it ahead off Jarvis. Vasilyev back in his zone to Harlamov. Harlamov starting out over the line with Petrov. Petrov has it at the line, playing it back. And the Soviets are stymied the first time they put their power play into operation. Now Gusev up on the left side. Mikhailov over the line, a great move. He's knocked to the ice. Here's Petrov trying to clear it in front. He's knocked down. Now the puck goes to Lapointe. Lapointe slaps it off the boards, and the Soviets back into their own zone. Shlukov comes off the Soviet bench. Vikulov is out there too. Now Alexandrov is on the ice, and he cleared it into the Canadian zone. There's Savard with it. To the point, and it gets by Civilian. Now on the left side. Lemire cleared it down the ice. Vasilyev from in front of his net. Shlukov missed it. Now it goes to Robinson. He ran into Roberts. Lemire has it, and it's fouled on the outside. 31 seconds left in the penalty.
Canadians doing all right, John. They had said before, while they didn't want to draw any penalties, they had to block up the middle, and that's what they did inside their own line, at least up to now, anyway.
Well, they didn't. They kept control of the puck, too, with Gainey throwing it back to Savard. And Savard's pretty wise when he's coming up penalty, and 31 seconds left in the penalty.
Shlukov, Vikulov, and Alexandrov up front. Zagankov is on defense with Luchenko, who has the puck. Ahead it goes into the center ice area to Vikulov, to Alexandria. He passed it back, and it's broken up by Roberts. Roberts shooting it down the ice, and now we have exactly 7 seconds left in the penalty to Wilson. Now the Soviets again. Flukov has it on the right side. He goes one way, the puck the other, and the Canadians again shoot it down the ice. And it is icing against Montreal.
From the Forum in Montreal, Super Series 76.
Dear Linda, I know you've wondered why a bike shop, why a cross-country race in 8 days with absolutely no sleep. The best answer I have is because I can. Love, Steve.
At Molson, we understand. Introducing new Molson Doppelbock, the third great beer in our signature series. And if it was easy to make, you would have had one by now. New Molson Doppelbock, because we can.
Six times a day, 38 times a week, nearly 2,000 times a year. No airline brings Canada closer to Asia than Canadian. Now with service to Shanghai. Better schedules, better destinations. That's how the people of Canadian are building a better airline.
Back at the Soviet bench, you have three coaches. That's one of the assistants, Vyenyan Alexandrov, who for many years was a star player for the Soviet national team.
Soviets, everybody up for the face-off. Solodukin is at center. Maltsev and Popov are the wings. Kornwayema, Havlich, and Shutt. Volchenkov on defense, cleared it away from shutout to center. Now Orig to Robinson. He cleared it through center. It's gobbled up by Kuzkin. He hits Shutt. Shutt with